There's been an outcry lately about the representation of women in video games. It's a hot, controversial topic that continues to pick up speed. There's growing demand for more female leads, realistic body types, and relatable characters. In this video, we'll take a quick look at both sides and see what the future may look like for games featuring a female protagonist. According to the ESA, over 150 million people play video games, and of those, 44% are females. With close to a 50-50 split, some people are calling for the same type of numbers amongst video game protagonists. If E3 2015 was any indication, it's a demand that some developers are taking more seriously. Horizon Zero Dawn's executive producer Mark Norris recently said, and I'm going to read this because it was a translated quote, "In fact, it is frustrating that being the 2015 still has to validate an option on a female main character, and then people use it to ask how they decided that option." Now on the other side of the fence, you have companies like Ubisoft, and you all probably remember when they got into some pretty hot water when they decided to shelve their female character models for Assassin's Creed Unity. People felt a little slighted by the response that it was too expensive and too much work to do both. And developers aren't the only people with opinions. Time did a survey where they asked middle and high school students to weigh in on the gender representation in video games. They found that 70% of girls and 78% of boys did not care what the gender was of the character they were playing. They also found out that boys tended to care less about playing as a male character as they aged, whereas girls tended to care more. And really, last year's E3 showed considerable change as far as gender equality is concerned. We only saw around 9% of games featuring a female protagonist versus like the 32% that had males, but there was a whole other 46% that gave you the option for both. That's a big number that I think everyone will be happier with, especially if there's customization available. And if the rumors are true, and they may or may not be, I saw a lot of complaints about how hard it is for developers to get funding, and also how hard it is for them to find someone who will publish their game as is if it doesn't feature a white male as its protagonist. Personally, I think all of those decisions should be left up to the creator to decide. I've never once asked myself, why is this character a male? Why is this one a female? Why isn't this one human? None of those questions have ever came to me. I've never thought of anything like that. I've always been more concerned with the story, how it plays, what kind of experience it leaves me with. And I just don't think it's fair to ask anyone to compromise their creative vision just to make someone else happy. Not every game has to be made for every person, and that's okay. If I had my way, every new game would play like old school survival horror games. And I'm talking can't move when you shoot, clunky, terrible controls. That is my personal preference. And if I demanded games like that and only played games like that, I would be hurting myself and the industry. Because really, it's nice to get outside your comfort zone every now and then and experience something new. And games are supposed to be fun. And if you can't have fun playing them, then what's the point? So I want to ask you guys, does the gender of the main character make you more or less likely to play a video game? Why or why not? Feel free to sound off in our comment section below.